Champions League Girona vs Feyenoord prediction, team news, lineups preview. Girona will host their first ever Champions League match when Feyenoord make the trip to Montilivi in one of Wednesday's early kickoffs. Both clubs fell to defeat on matchday 1, with Girona losing in heartbreaking circumstances, while Feyenoord were thrashed on home soil. Match preview. After stunning all of Europe by breaking the Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid top 3 dominance last season, Girona are struggling to back that up this season. On matchday 1, they faced a daunting prospect, traveling to the French capital to face Paris Saint-Germain on their European debut. Michel's side defended heroically and rode their luck at times, until Paulo Gazzaniga's howler in the final minute saw him score an own goal that handed the Parisians a 1-0 win at the Parc des Princes. Girona's game plan was there for all to see, and they almost got over the line with a 0-0 draw, despite having just 3 shots across the 90 minutes, the joint lowest of any club on their Champions League debut. The Blanc-Vermells went into the PSG clash on the back of a humbling 4-1 defeat to Catalan rivals Barcelona, and they have been just as underwhelming since the trip to Paris. Immediately after those defeats, Michel's side lost again to Valencia, handing the struggling club their first, and to date only, win of the season. A 0-0 draw at home to Rayo Vallecano followed, before a late Iago Aspas strike cancelled out Yangel Herrera's opener against Celta Vigo on Sunday. That leaves Girona down in 12th on just 9 points, suggesting a European push may not be on the cards this time around. Meaning they must make the most of the current campaign, and an expectant crowd at Montilivi would love nothing more than to see their side pick up a first win on the continent. The hosts will be favourites too, as life after Arne Slot has not been going well for visiting Feyenoord. New manager Brian Prisk, who impressed previously at Sparta Prague, has been unable to get going since arriving at De Kuip. Winning just one of their opening 4 games of the Eredivisie season before the Champions League campaign began. They could not have made a worse start in the competition either, as Feyenoord were thumped 4-0 at home by German champions Bayer Leverkusen, leaving only Dinamo Zagreb, who lost 9-2 on matchday 1, below them in the 36-team standings. The Rotterdam club did respond by beating NAC Breda 2-0 following that humbling loss. But they dropped yet more points at the weekend, drawing 1-1 away to NEC Nijmegen, leaving them down in 6th, already 11 points off the summit after just 7 games. Knowing there is no chance of playing Roma, the side that have beaten them in the last 3 seasons in Europe, may give Feyenoord some additional belief, as the 1970 winners will have their sights set on progressing past this stage for the first time. On 6 previous group stage entries, Feyenoord were eliminated each time, including last season, finishing behind Atletico Madrid and Lazio. Woeful away form is a big factor in that, as the Dutch side have lost all of their last 10 on the road in this competition, with the last time they avoided defeat coming in a 1-0 win over Newcastle United all the way back in 2002. Team news. Girona suffered 2 setbacks in their draw with Celta at the weekend, as Oriol Romeu was forced off inside the opening quarter of an hour, before Daley Blind, the man who assisted the opening goal, was then also struck down with injury shortly after the interval. Justin Garcia's shoulder and Ricard Artero ankle were already on the treatment table, and neither are set to return until after the international break coming up in just over a week's time. The home side's goal-scoring woes could see Michel call upon new signing Bojan Majovski, considering the Macedonian striker scored 4 and set up another 2 on the continent for Aberdeen last season. Feyenoord's recent 2-0 win over NAC came at a cost, as they lost top scorer Santiago Jimenez for around 3 months, after the Mexican suffered a hip injury in the first half of the match. That will likely see Asueta come in from the beginning again, but he has huge shoes to fill given that Jimenez scored 26 goals for the club last season. In more positive news, Quillency Hartman is closing in on a return from a lengthy knee injury, while Calvin Stengs and Bart Newcoop should be back after the October internationals. Girona possible starting lineup: Gazzaniga, Francis, Krejci, David Lopez, Gutierrez, Ivan Martin, Herrera, Tsigankov, Abel Ruiz, Danjuma, Majowski. Feyenoord possible starting lineup: Wellenreuther, Lotamba, Bielin, Henko, Small, Malambo, Huang, Timber, Osman, Ueda, Igor Paiseo. We say, Girona 1-1 Feyenoord. It will be a special occasion at Montilivi as the locals see their side walk out under the Champions League banner for the first time. But their recent results suggest a debut home win may be beyond them. Girona will be the 9th different Spanish team Feyenoord have faced in Europe, and while the visitors are in no form at all domestically and have lost on their last 3 trips to Spain, they could arrest that run here in a tight encounter. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.